And a little breaking news here on the Get More Sports podcast. The New York Giants have just fired head coach Pat Shurmur after 2 seasons after compiling a 9-23 record. That includes a 9-game losing streak, which matched the longest losing streak in the Giants' 94-year team history. So Pat Shurmur is done, and I'm going to give you 5 candidates that I want to see replace him in New York. But first, let's hear from owner John Mara about the firing of Pat Shurmur.
Early this morning and informed him that we're making a change at our head coaching position. You know, these decisions are never easy, particularly when you have someone like Pat with his character, his integrity, his work ethic. But at the end of the day, we just didn't win enough games, and we believe that we have to move in another direction. That's certainly not all Pat's fault. He did a lot of good things here, in particular his role in selecting and training Daniel Jones. It's a difficult day when you have to do something like this. The first thing that I always think of is the effect that it has on so many good people and their families. But at the end of the day, it was a decision we just felt like we had to make going forward.
And yes, this Giants team, they did show some improvement through the year, a marked improvement at times, and Daniel Jones has really shown flashes that he's going to become that quarterback for the New York Giants, but Pat Shurmur really didn't have a chance to retain his job. Here's him after yesterday's game. You can just hear it, man. This guy knew he was gone.
Well, that's, again, my conversation for ownership when we have those conversations, right? I think we didn't win enough games, right? And I own that, right? I don't make any excuses for that. But I do know that there's things that happened this year where this team improved in a lot of ways.
So look, when it came to the Pat Shurmur hiring, that hiring had Big Blue feeling blue for the 2 seasons that he was the head man for the New York Giants. If you look at his win percentage, a .281 win percentage. That's 30th in the NFL. Points per game, 22.2, 20th in the NFL. Opponents' points per game, 27. That's 27th in the NFL. And turnover margin, minus 15. That's 29th in the NFL. So Pat Shurmur was a bust as a head coach for the New York Giants, and you almost feel bad for Pat Shurmur. Look, of course he's going to accept this job with the Giants, but the Mara family should have offered it to him in the first place. Yes, he was a great coordinator in Minnesota, but really it just reflects where the Mara family is with their franchise. This franchise, they need to enter the now. They need to get a coach with some juice, with some sizzle, with some je ne sais quoi, someone that can come in and really light up the fan base and galvanize the fan base and excite the fan base. Because what Pat Shurmur did, he was a lot of nothing. He didn't do anything with this franchise. He got Daniel Jones to develop to some extent, but he really wasn't the guy to begin with. So this franchise is left floundering. You got some names I'm going to give you in a second, but look, to me, his tenure was an absolute disaster for the Giants. There's a scene in one of my favorite movies growing up, Little Giants, that shows the entire Pat Shurmur experience in New York. Now look, we're talking about the G-Men. We're talking about Big Blue. This is a revered franchise, a flagship franchise that should be contending for Super Bowls every single year. Look, the largest media market in the NFL. Now, why aren't the Giants able to hire the right guy? And my concern is their commitment to GM Dave Gettleman. Yes, Dave Gettleman, he drafted Daniel Jones. Danny Dimes looks like he could be a potential franchise quarterback. Saquon Barkley, who didn't think he was going to be great, right? But he's the same guy who hired Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur had never won more than 5 games as a head coach. His career record as a head coach was 19-46. Okay? That's the guy you brought in. That's the guy you thought was going to be a good idea to lead this franchise, and he did not cultivate a relationship with Odell Beckham Jr. I think the next head coach is going to have pause when it comes to joining a franchise that's led by Dave Gettleman, because look, he's one of the most analytics-averse GMs in the NFL, and I really think they need to modernize that front office in New York. But Giants fans, I've got the coaching candidates for you. And before I get into it, I just want to say Jason Garrett is not a candidate for the job if I'm the New York Giants. Look, Garrett, 85-67 in 9 seasons, but 2-3 in the playoffs. 4 8-8 seasons. He's underachieved with all that talent, and I want an offensive guy to pair with Daniel Jones and help him grow. So I'm not talking about Jason Garrett. I'm starting with Jim Schwartz. So Jim Schwartz, the coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's got head coaching experience as a 29-51 record as a head coach. They know what he can do. They see what he's capable of. I think he's a guy that can come in there and do the job. Number 4, I've got Kevin Stefanski. I'm very high on the Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator. He's got their rushing attack top 10. He's got Kirk Cousins throwing for a career-high 107.4 passer rating. So Kevin Stefanski, look, the Giants, they wanted to bring him on last year, but the Vikings denied their request to interview him. So clearly, the Giants are interested in Kevin Stefanski. Number 3, I've got Josh McDaniels. I know a lot of people have Josh McDaniels at 1 or 2, and the Giants interviewed McDaniels before they hired Shurmur. But look, Josh McDaniels, there's just something about this guy. Look, he didn't do well in Denver, ran back to the Patriots, but look, he's had a top 10 offense in 6 of the past 8 seasons, and he's won 3 Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator. So, look, I think Josh McDaniels, whenever he wants to take that job, look, he's got to take that job. If the Giants offer him the job and he doesn't accept it, I'm going to have serious questions about Josh McDaniels. Look, he went 11-17 in 2 seasons in Denver, and I don't know, maybe he's waiting to be the next coach of the Patriots, but you don't get a bigger job than the Giants. So that's my concern with Josh McDaniels. And coming in at number 2, I got John DeFilippo, the offensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, if you want to bring in an offensive-minded coach that could be the next superstar head coach in this league, John DeFilippo could be that guy. He's been angling towards becoming a head coach. Look what he did with Carson Wentz. Look what he's doing with Gardner Minshew. You pair him with Daniel Jones, and you take this offense to the next level. And at number 1, I'm going with Matt Rhule, the Baylor Bears head coach. All this guy does is turn programs around. Look what he did at Temple. Look what he's doing for the Baylor Bears. Look, his Baylor career started 1-11, and now they're in the Sugar Bowl. They were in contention for the college football playoff this year, and most importantly, he understands the Giants' way. He was the offensive line coach for the Giants back in 2012. He's worked with Dave Gettleman, and the Giants are keeping Gettleman, and I think he's got that personality. He's got that charisma. He's got the offense to pair with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. And let's not forget, last year, he was a finalist for the Jets job, so he wants to coach in New York, and I think Matt would rule in the Big Apple. I think he's the guy for the G-Men. Thanks for watching the Get More Sports YouTube channel. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me at DMac_LA. And for all the hottest sports content in the game, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and most importantly, give me all your takes right down below in the comments section. I want all your takes right down below in the comments section. And for all the hottest and latest sports news, head over to GetMoreSports.com.